Hi, welcome to my channel. This video is regarding Mongo Database GridFS. Mongo Database GridFS is basically a Mongo Database API which can be used to store large files like audio, video files, etc. So Mongo Database has a restriction for each document size to be a maximum of 16 megabytes. But still, you can store large files like an audio or video using GridFS. So what GridFS does is it splits the file which you store into the database into chunks, and each chunk will be of around 255 KB. So let's see how GridFS works in Mongo database. So this is how the GridFS works. So for example, if I am uploading a JPG file doc.jpg through GridFS, the fs.files will store the metadata of that file. Fs.chunks will have multiple documents storing that JPG file in the form of separate chunks. Let us see how we can store a huge video file like this one into the Mongo database using GridFS. So this particular file is of around 47 megabyte. You can also store huge gigabyte sized videos or audio files. I'm just taking this one as an example. To store huge files into Mongo database, a utility known as Mongo Files is used. Syntax is you have to provide the database name into which you are storing this particular file. Say I am storing into media database, and you have to provide put command to put this particular file, and then the path of the file. So it's in my current directory, so I'm just putting the file name. So you see it's connecting to the Mongo database. So it says that it's added the grid file. Now let me log into the Mongo shell. So let us see how it is stored in the Mongo database. So since we had stored in the database media, I'm going to switch to the media database. The huge files are stored in GridFS using two collections, fs.files and fs.chunk. Here fs.file is a parent collection which contains the information about the file, and fs.chunks contains the data splitted into chunks. Now let us query fs.files and see what it has. So you can see it has the file name lecture.mp4, the chunk size, the upload time, and the metadata. Now let us see what fs.chunk stores. So since it also contains data, analyzing the result set is pretty difficult. So you can see it's a huge set of data. Now to simplify the result, I'll just project without the data and also without underscore ID to simplify the output. So you can see we have a files underscore ID and n field. So this object ID stored as a files underscore ID is the value of underscore ID in fs.files document. And n is the number provided to the chunk. So you can see there is from 0 to 19. So the particular MP4 file which we had uploaded is stored in 20 different chunks. Now let us try to retrieve the MP4 file which we had stored in the GridFS back to our file system. So for that, we'll use Mongo Files. We'll provide the database where we had stored the particular MP4, and we'll put the get command to get the file and the file name lecture.mp4. So you see it has connected to MongoDB and it has returned the file back to our disk. So you can see the 47 MB file has been restored as a single file back to our file system using get command. So the question arises, when should we use GridFS while using Mongo database? If you have limitations in your file system on number of files you can store, you can use GridFS to upload your large files. If you want to access certain portions of a large file without loading the whole file into memory, for example, if you load a file from the file system, the loading of huge file will be a load in memory. But when you store in a GridFS, it will be stored in a form of chunks, so it's more simpler. Also, by storing into GridFS, you can keep your files and metadata always synced. Thank you for watching my video.